I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. Of course, it's a very special Handicapper's Corner. It is Derby Day, and there are 6 stakes races on the program, and Drew and I will go through the entire card, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Full Derby gate, 12 of them signed on. And
one of the better derbies we've had in a few years, definitely. Really good derby this year, and there's a few big days throughout the year. BC Cup Day is a big day, but for me, Derby Day is the day. And it's nice how they've highlighted it now with stakes for the older horses. They've moved the 2 for charities to Derby Day as well as the Oaks. This is a rock star card. We have 10 races.
$500,000, not $550 or something like that. Almost $600,000 in purse money available today.
10 races on tap, and there is a pick 5 as well that has a $90,000 carryover. Thanks to Rob Maben with his 50-1 shot. My eye candy last night
Hastings
in the final leg.
Currently loves Rob.
Yes, Maben. Rob Maben. He'll never pay for another drink there.
No, that was great. Yes, as Feel No Shame.
No Shame.
Won
Sorry,
the final leg of the pick 5, causing
the only horse that was a carryover. 50-1.
There was $100,000 bet in or $80,000 bet into the pool too. So I know it'll be like 200-300. It could be anything on Saturday. But so do check out when the pick 5 starts. It was scheduled to start in race 2. I think that's where they're going to have it. I know they were tinkering with moving it later in the card with all the big rate.
It's in the form as the pick 5, so we'll have to see how that shakes down. I think that's where they ended up leaving it. It was in race number 2 without confusing everyone. But anyway, on to race number 1. The first half of the double. Your first pick 4. Ladies,
field of 7 going a mile and a 16th. I see a lot of speed in here. Peach Pike's going to go. Hippie's a sprinter on the stretch out.
Yeah.
PG Star's been showing speed. Belly Girl needs to be honored in the lead going long. Velociraptor is really fast, has sprint speed. I just think Lady Cash is going to get a great pace to run at. She's lost by a neck in her last 3 starts with Enrique Gonzalez aboard. She's due to win a photo finish. And her races last year going long were very good. Well, one was poor, but she had an excuse that day. But her 2 prior ones there in September were very good. I know she was on the pace in them, but she's showing she can come from off the base. So I like Lady Cash. To defeat the 4, Been to Spain is another one who I think will be coming from off the pace and run a good one. That's a big company change for her from 62.50 down to 4. She's been running against Jazz Lady, Shayla's Rose, Tattooed Kitty, and Beloved Betty. Those are miles better horses than what these fillies and mares are. So I put her in the 2nd spot. I threw in Velociraptor. This horse ran well going along and seems to be a sprinter that can stretch her speed. And I know ran poorly last night. That was for 25G. That was a tough race sprinting. But gets back out going long. I left out Peach Pike and Belly Girl. This is a good race.
This is a good race.
This is really a good race to start off. But I just thought with the dynamics, the way the flow of the race, I thought Lady Cash and Been to Spain would have really good chances. So I went 5-4.
It does. I agree. It does look like speed, but I can't get over the fact that you look back a couple races ago and Peach Pike going long wins by 9.
Oh, I know, on 140.
Last time, sprinting, that's all the early fractions get caught by Coco Gogo, who's dropping, was a heavy favorite dropping from an 8 on 3 into that condition, that 4 on 3 last time. I like Peach Pike. Belly Girl, last time she ran long. Another one, it was a 4 on 3, but she won by, another one that almost won by 9, won by 8.5. They do have similar styles. Maybe they kill each other off, but I just can't get over the fact that when these girls stretch out, they're really tough. I got those 2 on top of Lady Cash. If they kill each other, your top pick, Lady Cash, should be rolled late. I went 1, 6, and 5 in the first.
Keep an eye on the track condition, too. We're supposed to get a little bit of rain tomorrow night. As of taping, it's Thursday, but Friday night, and we're Saturday's supposed to get some drizzles as well. So it could be dealing with a wet track, but we'll see.
On to the second race. This is a 2-year-old, actually it's straight 2-year-old allowance race, but I think they're all girls except for Ring of Kerry. Allowance race for 2-year-old fillies. Summerlin makes her return here to Hastings after going down to Del Mar and trying the Sorrento Grade 2, which was awfully tough. Actually, the 2-year-old fillies at Del Mar this year
sensational.
Is quite a...
Bellafina came back and won the
Del Mar
Mother debutante or whatever it was.
Day, Del Mar Ladies Futurity or whatever they call it. But yeah, so Summerlin returns. She looks to be a handful in here. I have her on top of Billy, another Phil Hall horse, in the 2nd spot. Good second behind Dancing Shoes, who's my pick in the next race in the debutante here on BC Cup Day. And I threw in 1 for Mom in the 3rd spot. She ran good her first start. She's the daughter of Tisway. Got a 54 buyer, beat Chrissy and a Ranger. This one is probably okay. And maybe, the upset chances that she only had 1 start. She won pretty professionally, and she could take a step forward. Tackling Summerlin is quite a chore. But that's my long shot in here. I put her in third. I went 3, 2, and 5.
Yeah, both the horses actually she beat are in the Futurities. Chrissy's in the City Diamond and Arranger's in the Jack
boys.
Diamond. But I agree with your top pick. Summerland, it's tough to get by her. She looks like a solid single in your pick 5s. I mean, this is going to be a standalone, going to be 2 to 5, and deserves every bit of the credit. She was sensational before leaving for Del Mar. Phil said she didn't really care for the track. It was a lot deeper, and would have liked to have had a little more time there with her, knowing if he would have known in advance that the track was going to be this deep, and it was quite tiring, and she got tired. And but she's come back to work well. She's back in fine fettle. Summerland to win it. Looks like the Phil Hall horses for me. Put it Billy in for second, and the 4, the gelding Ring of Kerry in for third. Those are your 3 horses. But Summerland looks very, very good.
Yes,
3, 2, 4
she does.
for me in the second. On to the third race, the first of 6 stakes races on the day. This is the Sadie Diamond Futurity. Got a field of 8 going 6.5 furlongs for BC bred or sired 2-year-olds, fillies. And it's the 7-horse Dancing Shoes. Looks like another solid. Might even be another key in your early in the pick 5. Couldn't have been any more impressive in her debut. Really was quite professional. Broke well. 8 dirt through the opening quarter of a mile. Tipped out around the first turn and just stayed in the 3 path the rest of the way. Cruised by some more experienced horses, and then drew off to a nice win at 17-4, which was a full second faster than Ring of Kerry. Won the boys race, and she looks like a budding little superstar, and she's come back to work well, and she's facing nothing that she doesn't look like. She's beaten Notice and GMT Baby already with in her debuts, so this field is within her scope. She's going to be a short price, but she looks very live. I went with Notice for second, the CTHS Sales Stake winner, very easy lead that day, but cruised to a nice comfortable win over Honky Tonk Woman and Backseat Rider. She's a versatile type too. She's pretty handy away from the gate, but she relaxes nicely. And I put the 8-horse Chrissy in for third, the Dino Contolinos runner. I know she's a maiden, but she's hooked into some pretty tough maidens. Miss Invasive, One for Mom, and then her stablemate Friday and Warrior's Promise last time. But I thought she was worth a look in the show spot. But I do like Dancing Shoes, 758.
Don't have much to add. I'll just touch on Dancing Shoes I thought couldn't have been more impressive in her debut. I'm really looking forward to when her and Summerland hook up. They do have different styles. Excuse me, Summerland goes to the lead. This filly comes from Offutt, and just everything about the race. She got a 61 Beyer in her first start that towers over the field. The tough ones in here look like they all want the lead. Notice goes to the lead. Chrissy's on the head end. Gifted Gray. There should be some pace for her to run at. Dancing Shoes for me would be a single on my pick 5 ticket. I got the same 2 beneath you, Notice and Chrissy. Same numbers as Mike, same order, 758 for me. In the girls, Futurity on to the 4th. Fillies and Mares, a Delta Colleen going a mile and an 1/8. Field of 7 in here. Tough to get by the 2 Blaine Wright runners. Reginald's coming off a very nice win in the Emerald Downs Distaff, beating Top Quality, but I gave a nod to Top Quality in the fact that she's been over this surface before. She came up here and won the Strawberry Morn earlier on the meet over Yukon Bell and Curly's Figure, and just the fact that she's got to start over the surface, I give a slight edge to her. I've got Top Quality over Reginella, but those 2 look to be a handful in this.
They look good.
Yeah, they look to be tough in this installment of the Delta Colleen. And I threw in Notice to Jewel. Seems to be back in good form. She's running very well, coming off a win in the BC Cup Distaff under Richard Hamill, who had a lot of success on her last year. I went 5, 4, and 1.
Yeah, I have the same horses. I put Reginelle on top. I don't think there's going to be a pile of speed in here, but good luck to you. Might go out there. Yukon Bell will probably be handy early, Touching Promise as well. But Reginelle doesn't look like she needs the lead either. She can sit just in behind horses. Yeah. Rico Walcott rides this track very well, and she'll be in great position, and she looks pretty live in here. She was full of running that race. Top Quality took a good run at her at the head of the stretch, and Reginella just drew away and had something left. And she had battled on the head end that day, going the 9 furlongs, so she seems to be in fine fettle. But you're right, Top Quality looked very good in her run earlier this year, defeating Yukon Bell and Curlish Figure, and she's live as well. And Notice the Jewel's going great guns. It's about the time she got good last year and won the Delta Colleen and the Ballerina, and on her way to being champion older mare here last year, because she's live as well. I went 4, 5, and 1 in the Delta Colleen. On to the 5th race, the SW Randall Plate. The boys here going 9 furlongs. I ended up on the 4, Don't Hold Me Back. The score sat very close to a hot pace last time, and was actually in trouble in a couple of spots, and Still ran on well to be third. Going to get Richard Hamill today. I think maybe he can turn the tables on Calgary Caper, who had a very good pace setup last time, which I thought he would. I liked him last time. Actually liked him his last 2 times, and he's gotten favorable pace scenarios. I don't know if it's going to be as crazy today, but he's getting up there in weight, 123 pounds, because he's had to pay the penalty for winning, and we'll see how he fares. And the wet track shouldn't bother him if it comes up being a wet track. And I put the 1 horse Absolutely Stylish in for third. Nice game win over Square Dancer and Bistrea. Obviously, this is a bit tougher. I'm not saying this is the toughest. Obviously, this is probably one of our easier older horse divisions over the past few years. So it's not like losing to or beating Square Dancer and Bistrea is that much lower than these horses. It is.
Yeah, exactly.
Square Dancer's former stakes winner. Bistrea's hitting the fringes and stakes as well. So that was a nice win last time. He had a battle on the head end, and he was very game. The 9 furlongs, and we'll see if he gets left alone on the head end. See if Don't Hold Me Back leaves him alone, and Silent Eagle. But the 1 is alive as well. But I like Don't Hold Me Back. I've liked him his last 2 starts. He's had reasons why he didn't win. I think he finally gets a good trip. 4-3-1.
I have the same horses, but I put Absolutely Stylish on top. I think he gets the lead.
Right. And
I think he really needed that last race. Got a confidence builder. It was a professional race. Hung on, ran very well, set good fractions. 23 and 4, 47, not crazy, but good fractions. And I just think, Silent Eagle could ruin the party and pressure him, but if he shakes loose, I think he's going to be a handful. Of course, Phil Hall making all the right moves right now, our leading trainer. I got Absolutely Stylish on top of Calgary Caper. And Don't Hold Me Back. These two, Don't Hold Me Back, I can see your point. Like, Calgary Caper's going to be much further back. Don't Hold Me Back is going to be the one that gets the first crack at him. So that could be to his advantage. But Calgary Caper's, found his old form. He's won 3 of his last 4 the last 2 stakes. So I got him in the second spot. I went 1, 3, and 4 in the 5th. On to the 6th. A little break in the stakes action. We have a maiden 25 for 2-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs, field to 8. And I did go to the outside to the 8 horse, Aldergrove, out of the Phil Hall barn. Didn't mind this horse last time in the sale stakes. Had a brutal trip, stumbled out of the gate. I think there's more there. Phil Hall, as I mentioned, having a good meet, great meet. Puts the blinkers on today. Enrique Gonzalez is aboard. Him and Phil Hall team up at 30% together. I can see this guy going to the lead. It's not a crazy tough field. I think Aldergrove wins it. I have him on top of... Help me with this
Buzzios,
name.
I guess.
Buzzios.
I heard Dan calling it when they did the draw. I think he said Buzzios.
Buzzios?
Yeah,
Buzzios?
I'll go with that.
Buzz Aldrin. Put him in second. Son of Haynesfield out of a live barn. Todd Mountain's having a very good year with their 2-year-olds. Their 2-year-olds are always quite live. We've seen a few of them be tough this year. He's got a good string of works. Lopez ride Buzzios. And I threw in, obviously, the horse will probably be your favorite, Numani's Reward. This horse has run 5 times now. The one time he got beat ahead in that big blanket photo, but I just haven't been overly impressed with him, so I put him in the 3rd spot. 8, 6, and 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Numani's Reward. I agree with what you're saying. He's had a lot of chances, but that Call It a Wrap race is looking liver now. Explorer came back to win very easily on Wednesday.
Dropping to 25 might be what he needs.
That's what he needs. This race didn't come out. He can win this race. Numani's Reward for me over Aldergrove. I agree. That's blinkers on, and as you mentioned, the barn's going great guns, and the 2-year-olds do well. And wouldn't be surprised to see this one turn things around with the blinkers. And who did I put in for 3rd? I put the 4, the hybrid. I kind of liked him last time a little bit. He just got beat
in neck by Horst.
By Horst, but. He ran a much improved race, going 6.5 without the blinkers. That was a big key, and lightweight too with Lenny Cicheron. But 5, 8, and 4 for me in race number 6. On the 7th race, this is the BC Oaks. Going to go 1 mile and an 1/8 here, field of 10. Looks like the contenders are parked on the outside, but the 1 mile and an 1/8, you got a big long run to get into position. I went with Here's Hannah. She's really done nothing wrong throughout her career. She continues to run game races. I've seen her in the morning. She looks great.
Yeah.
Still, it's not like any of these races have taken a lot out of her.
She's the one to beat. That's for sure.
A steam engine and she keeps trucking along. And she's, as I said, she looks great in the mornings and she's been powerful. She's going to be tough to beat again. Richard Hamill re-rides for Johnny Morrison. I put the 10 Raider in for second. 4 consecutive wins since going to Edmonton. Of course, their champion 3-year-old filly winning the Sonoma, the Northlands Oaks, as well as the Chariot Chaser. Hard to fault her. I mean, she's been very good. I've seen her at the track. She looks great. She doesn't look like a horse that's had a long, hard campaign. She's got good weight on her for Greg Tracy. Just certainly looks the part and still good flesh on her and good tone to the flesh too. Like nice coat. And she certainly looks nice. So
Coming
I thought she
into
was
the race
the
well, yeah.
next best. And I was between Diamond Czar, Cypress Park, and Tiptoe for third, but I went with Tiptoe. I'm going to give her a pass for that last race in which maybe the pace scenario wasn't to her liking. Maybe she was a little too close to the pace. Look for her to be less aggressively ridden and hope that something happens on the head end, which it could with 7x70. Tony Ann's Miracle's got to go. Bear is going to show speed for her stablemate. And Cypress Park has speed. There's going to be some pace in here. And Tiptoe, if she gets farther back, 8-10 lengths out of it, and they're going for a 46 half, she could come running on late because she was only a length behind Here's Hannah 2 starts back. So she's shown she can kind of be near that one. So she's in the game. I went 9, 10, and 3.
I went to Cypress Park. I'm trying to beat the heavy favorite here. Here's Hannah. I think you can get a little bit of a price on Cypress Park just because Here's Hannah is going to be 3 to 5.
I don't think she'll be 3 to 5, but she will be the favorite.
She's going to be a heavy favorite, I think. Yeah, that's true. Diamonds are coming up from Seattle, might take some money too. But Here's Hannah's a horse to beat. I'm going to try and beat her with Cypress Park. Stretched out for the first time last week. She's out of that great mare Masqueretta, who's thrown great horse after great horse. They like to go long. Her first time going long last year, she ran into some pretty nice older mares in Yukon Belle and Dazzling Dawn and handled them. I was really impressed. She's lightly raced. She's only run 5 times, and Anita Bolton has done a job kind of keeping her, she's only running 1 stake, kind of, building up her confidence, putting her in allowance races, won the sale stake, beat, as I mentioned, a couple tough old mares and just a horse going the right way. And if anybody defeats her, I think it could be Cypress Park. I got Cypress Park on top of Here's Hannah. And my long shot, I threw in 7x70. This is another filly. I know that, she's super game. And another one, when she stretched out, she's the daughter of Tail the Cat. When she stretched out, it made a big difference. She won a 16 on 3. Obviously, this is tougher. But she came back with a big effort in the Hong Kong Jockey Club, sitting just off Here's Hannah, fighting on, holding everybody else off, held off Tiptoe by a couple lengths. 7x70 is another one that's really on the improve. So for my try that will pay well, I went 8, 9, and 2 in the BC Oaks. On to the Derby, the big dance. This is the one. There, get the Derby hat on.
Smarter. Okay.
Field of 12, and as I mentioned off the top, one of the better Derby fields we've had here in recent memory. And great to have a 12-horse field. This is our signature event. Like to have a full gate. I went to the California Invader Canadian Game. Out of the Doug O'Neill barn, he will run out of the Glenn Todd barn here. Paul Redham, of course, of I'll Have Another and Nyquist fame. Mario did not make the trip up here. He's riding a couple nice horses down in California, so he's not here to ride this horse. He was supposed to be coming to town. He didn't, but no shame that Aaron Grider picks up the mount. Looks to have a good style, can go long. The horse that beat him 2-back, Ike, is a nice horse down in Southern California. He won a maiden special weight at Santa Anita. This is a tough race, don't get me wrong, but I think this horse can get over the top and win this event. I have him on top of Sky Promise. Robertino Diodoro trying to do what he did last year within the Manitoba Derby, the Canadian Derby, and then come here and win the BC Derby. He actually did not win in the end the Canadian Derby.
Well, that's still
Chief Know-It-All got taken.
It's still up in the air. It's still, they'll
keep fighting that.
It's still in courts.
They'll be fighting that for years. Yeah, he did it last year with Chief Know-It-All. Trying to do it again this year with Sky Promise. Nice off the pace horse. It looks like there should be some pace in here. But I think Canadian Game gets first crack at the pace. Sky Promise in second. And Weekend Wizard, our local hero, they didn't do him any favors at the draw. They get in the 12-hole, and there is other speed in here. Could compromise him. The 12-hole, I mean, he's got Richard Hamill, so Richard's going to work out a trip for him. But I just see it's setting up for a couple closes. So I went Canadian Game, Sky Promise, and Weekend Wizard, the local hopeful, in the third spot. I went 10, 6, and 12.
Yeah. I like a lot of the horses in here come from off the pace. The 1 Day Raider, the 2 Not Yet, the 3 Pickford, the 6 Sky Promise, the 7 Chef, Tito Chip, the list goes on. Canadian Game is not particularly quick. Variation comes from out of it. To me, on paper, there's not a lot of speed. I think Weekend Wizard's going to get a perfect trip. The 12 hole is an ideal post, going 1 1/8 for a horse like this.
That's true, 1 1/8, that's true.
For this particular distance, and I just think Richard can get into a perfect spot. He's not a big horse, so 126 pounds, that's a little bit of an issue, but the 1 1/8 isn't a problem. I mean, he battled gamely, losing to Washington's best horse, Sip and Fire, in the Muckleshoot Derby, Emerald Derby, and he barely got
pressured.
He
got pressured by a long shot in there
46 flat, 110. I know Emerald's got faster splits than we do, but the track gets pretty quick. But still, this horse battled all the way and was 9 3/4 lengths clear the third horse. But I just think he can sit just off of. I don't think Appalachian Bay is going to go crazy. I don't think El Noble's going to go crazy. And those look like the only 2 speed horses in the race. Weekend Wizard might even be able to get the lead. But anyway, I do like him a lot. He's the proven horse. He's the best Hastings horse, I believe, for my money. I put the 4 Appalachian Bay in for second. I'm not going to give up on him after one. It was kind of not a disappointing effort. He ran well still. But I think that Edmonton race took a lot more
I was going to say, he had a trip over the mountains, and that can take a lot out of a young horse.
I saw the horse come back in the East Gate after the trip, and he looked like he'd lost a few pounds.
Yeah.
And he'd won the Count Latham easily, but it was a tougher ship on him. He's not a big horse. And he had to battle on the head end. He just come up a little empty that day, and I just think he doesn't need the lead, and I think he'll run a good race on or near a slow pace. And I put the 10 horse. I agree with Canadian Game, running against older horses in his last 2. There's a considerably better runners. They're just allowance races on him. He just broke his maiden, and that's it. But I saw him train this morning. He's kind of a lanky, not a ton of weight on him, but he's kind of a big, tall, lanky horse. I'm not saying he's skinny. He's not, but he's kind of light frame,
long striding.
Yeah,
Side curling.
He looks very good. He shipped well. I put him in for third, and I left out Sky Promise, but I thought the mile and 3/8 was good for him last time. I don't know if the mile and 1/8 will be his trip, but you never know. But he's classy enough. The connections are awesome. Robertino and Rico, Day Raider. Not yet. Both good off-the-pace runners that have flashed brilliance this year. It's just going to need paces, though. And Brave Nation.
Brave Nation might be the long shot.
El Noble, I don't want to leave him out either.
Yeah.
I just want to mention a lot of the horses. Just El Noble's a cool horse. He's been a bit of an overachiever.
Giant run last time.
Like he just broke his maiden 2 back, and then he was up there on the pace, put away Appalachian Bay, and then held on for second. I thought he was very game too, but a very contentious Derby. But
Really
I really like
race.
Weekend Wizard's my horse.
Yeah.
12, 4, and 10 for me in the British Columbia Derby. On to the 9th. This is the Jack Diamond Futurity. 100 grand. We're still giving away more money in race number 9. Big money. 6.5 furlongs will be the distance, and I'm going to go to the 2. Stay Fantastic. As you mentioned, the Todd Mountain 2-year-old's been running well for Mike Anderson, and this horse did break his maiden at first asking. Went to the sidelines for a little bit, but has resumed his work pattern there on August the 25th with a couple of good moves. I think he's going to be close to the lead. I don't see a ton of speed in here. I think a Ranger might go. Bugsy's near the lead, more to the north a little bit. There's just not a horse. I mean, there's not really a 21 and 4 or 22 flat type horse in here.
Yeah, nobody's smoking.
So I think
hot
Stay Fantastic could be close to the pace, and so I like him to defeat Call It a Wrap, who's been on a roll. The only thing I worry about Call It a Wrap is the pace.
Pace scenario.
It just doesn't look like there's going to be a ton of speed. And mind you, there wasn't last time, but he still managed to win. But this is a little tougher. And I put the 1 horse. I was between Aleutian Bay and Dat Day, or Aleutian Harbor, pardon me, and Dat Day. Those are the 2 horses I was kind of teetering on for third, and I went to Aleutian Harbor. I think he's got a lot of upside. He keeps improving with each and every start, and hopefully he breaks a little bit better and gets in play. But for the red hot Phil Hall barn, I went 2, 8, and 1. I like Stay Fantastic.
I got the same exact as you. I put it the other way around. I did go to Call It a Wrap. He's a big, good-looking horse, and he's just improving every race. I thought it was another really professional race in the sales stake. The first time, I didn't really notice him his first race, and then the second time he ran, I noticed him in the paddock, and he's a big, good-looking boy. Ran really pro that day, came back in the sales stake. He's going the right way. I got Call It a Wrap on top. I agree. I think Stay Fantastic is going to be heard from in here. Just the 1 race, and it was a good race with Honky Tonk Woman and Explode. And he came up the rail pretty professionally for a young horse in his first start. He's got a lot of upside. Stay Fantastic at the second spot. I threw in Bugsy. Ran second last time behind Call It a Wrap, defeating Aleutian Harbor. Top connections, Dino Conolinos, Amadeo Perez. 8, 2, and 6 for me.
One to quickly touch on our buddy Randy Golding. He
liked the Monachie.
A
Ranger, I saw that.
3 horse. First time Lasix gelded. We should give Randy a plug in here.
He's had the ultimate
in
equipment adjustment.
Yes, he's been gelded and first time Lasix. He just has the 1 run going 3.5 in a very quick heat. Behind 1 for Mom and Chrissy, but still the works have been good. He kind of likes him. And
I talked to Ole in the paddock a few weeks ago when he ran too. And Mark's having a great year, period, and his 2-year-olds are very good. I talked to Ole, and the first foal at Monachie was very good. They've been a little disappointing since then, and he said this one actually can run some, and it's an encouraging race for him. That might be a long shot to have a look at in there. As you mentioned, Randy Golding's top pick. On to the 10th. Stakes races are over. We go on to... on
216.
I'm missing a page here.
All right, we got one here.
We got one. There we go. 16 non-3 fillies and mares, and I went to the 2 Babylon Will Fall. I'm going against Mike's rule here, taking 3-year-olds against older horses.
It's getting to that time of year.
But yeah, exactly. They're getting later. But Broker Maiden first out very impressively for 4. By 4, sorry, for 16. Came back in a 3-year-old race for 12.5. Just got beat by Sweet 16, and not crazy fractions that day, and she made up a lot of ground. I like Babylon Will Fall over Classic Statement. Just won this race 2 starts ago. Came back a little flat. Looking for her to rebound today under Enrique Gonzalez. Put her in the 2nd spot, and I put Sweet 16, another Mark Luce horse, who did defeat Babylon Will Fall, but I think she can turn the tables on her. I put her in the 3rd spot. I went 2, 1, and 7.
Yeah, those 3. Those are the. This race is kind of tough. They're not really. There's no standout in here. I'm going to go to the 1 Classic Statement, but this horse did look so good and inviting.
2 stars back,
start,
crushed.
Yeah, 2 starts ago, and was 4-5 last time. But Northern Storm outbroke her last time. She had the rail and kind of bumped her a little bit, and then she got covered up in behind horses. And once she got dirt in her face, she hated every minute of it. Look for Classic Statement to show speed and get out there. So this horse is live. I put Eco Charge in for 2nd and Sweet 16. I know I took 3 speed horses, but I didn't really see a big closer in here. Maybe Mayfair Lady or
Babylon Will Fall.
Or Babylon Will Fall. Yep. But I went 1, 3, and 7 to close it out. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the BC Derby, actually the biggest day of the year.
Yeah.
The 10-race program at Hastings on Saturday, which just got underway at 1:50. Don't forget that $90,000
yes,
carryover.
the pick 5. That starts the 2nd race, so get there early.
Next up on screen will be a quick recap of those 10 hot picks. Back in race number 1, I went to the 5. Lady Cash going to go 5, 4, 7. Race number 2, went to the 3. Summerlin going to go 3, 2, and 4. Race number 7, the Sadie Diamond Futurity. I went to the 7. Dancing Shoes over the 5 and 8. Race number 4, the Delta Colleen. I went to the 4. Reginella over the 5 and 1. Race number 5, the SW Randall Plate. Going to try and get the 4. Don't Hold Me Back in the winner's circle. 4, 3, and 1. Race number 6, going to go to the 5. New Manny's Reward over the 8 and 4. Race number 7, the BC Oaks, the BC top BC filly right now. Here's Hannah, number 9, get to win it over the 10 Raider, the top Alberta filly, and the 3 Tiptoe in for 3rd. In this year's renewal of the BC Derby, in race number 8, I went to the 12 Weekend Wizard over the 4 Appalachie Bay and the 10 Canadian Game. Race number 9, this Jack Diamond Futurity, going to go to the 2 Stay Fantastic, 2, 8, and 1. And in the finale, I went to the 1 Classic Statement, going to go 1, 3, and 7.
On to my picks, there we go. Back in the 1st, I went to the 1 Peach Pike over the 6 and the 5. In the 2nd, I love that early pick 3. I take all with Summerland. I love Summerland in the 2nd over the 2 and the 5. And then in the 3rd, love Dancing Shoes in the Girls Futurity. Dancing Shoes over the 5 Notice and the 8 Chrissy. In the 4th, the Delta Colleen. I went to the 2 Blaine Wright horse. I put top quality, the 5 on top of the 4 Reginella, and local horse Notice the Jewel, the 1 and 3rd. In the 5th, the SW Randall. I put Absolutely Stylish on top. Yep. The Phil Hall Speed Horse over the 3 Calgary Caper and the 4 Don't Hold Me Back. In the 6th, I went to the 8 Aldergrove over the 6 and the 5. In the 7th, the Oaks. I went to Cypress Park. I'm looking for a big race from her over Here's Hannah, trying to defeat favorite Here's Hannah over the 2 7x70. In the 8th, the big one, the BC Derby. I went to the 10 Canadian Game. Look at that, right? The number 10 right there. Paul Redham colors there in the purple and white over
Hopefully
the 6.
Paul shows up.
Yeah, maybe he'll be here. Good Canadian guy. 10 Canadian Game over the 6 Sky Promise, and 12 the local horse Weekend Wizard in for 3rd. In the 9th, the Boys Futurity. I went to the 8. He's on a roll. Call It a Wrap over the 2 Stay Fantastic and the 6 Bugsy. And the Nightcap, I went to the 2 Babylon Will Fall over the 1 and the 7.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to the BC Derby, our special Saturday edition of Handicapper's Corner. Quick reminder that our next live card is at 1:50 on Sunday. We've got 8 more thrillers on, no stakes race on the Sunday program, but still some good competitive fields, and we'll see if the pick 5 carries over.
That carries over.
And
if Summerland or Dancing Shoes gets beat,
sorry. Well, I thought
shot.
That after Got My Mo, and a couple of chalk won the first 2 in the pick 5 yesterday. And then there was...
it was just up to Maven. Maven saved the day.
Maven closed it out and got a nice little
one
night.
on Derby Day.
So not that there needed to be any more interest on the card, but we certainly have a lot more.
That doesn't
with
hurt,
that.
yeah.
That certainly doesn't hurt us. But should be a great afternoon. It's going to be a great crowd. Come on out early. If you can't make it out to the track, please do come on out here to the Derby Bar and Grill.
What better place to watch the BC Derby than the Derby Bar and Grill? There you go.
All right. It should be a lot of fun. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicapper's Corner.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.